Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I'm driving a 2020 Subaru WRX STI Series.White. Up front is a 2.5 liter turbocharged flat 4 and down below is a 6-speed manual transmission. Now this is the Series.White. They only made 500 of these and we'll talk about that in a little bit, but it's something so exclusive. They only made 500 STIs, 500 WRXs with this package, and even between the WRX and the STI, there's subtle differences. So really, this is a very, very unique car. The Series.White came with the exclusive white paint job. This is only offered on the Series.White. 19-inch forged BBS wheels. These are the same that come on the S209, but these are bronze, and the S209 has gold wheels. Michelin Pilot Super Cup 2 tires, Bilstein suspension, Brembo brakes with the silver calipers. The regular WRX has the red calipers. Recaro seats and a couple other very nice little touches. This is a very exclusive car and I'm very excited to be driving it. But let's get back to that 2.5 liter flat 4. Well, it puts out 310 horsepower, 290 foot-pounds of torque, getting you 16 miles a gallon in the city, 22 on the highway. That's not great. However, it is ridiculously fun to drive. We'll get a little audio here. It does have an NVIDIA exhaust on it. NVIDIA is a very solid company that does Subaru things, but it definitely pulls. It definitely pulls. Like I said, paired to it is a 6-speed manual transmission. I like it. It has a very nice clunk into gear. It feels very solid. The clutch is a little heavy, but it's not bad. It's not the worst thing in the world. You know, it's not a old muscle car clutch, but it is heavier for a Japanese import. Last but not least, of course, it is a Subaru, so it is all-wheel drive. So let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have two main gauges. On the left is my tachometer with coolant temperature down at the bottom, and on the right is my speedometer with fuel down at the bottom. And then in the center, I get a very nice information display. I love the fact that it has the red outlines. I think it looks very proper. It looks good. Cycle through a couple different things here, like my drive mode, miles per hour and digits, time spent driving, things like that. On the steering wheel on the left, I have my volume controls, skip track, source, media, phone, and then down at the bottom left, I have my settings for that center screen and the gauges I just talked about. And then on the right, I have my cruise control. Now, the steering wheel is perforated leather. It's stitched. I love it. It has the STI badge on it. It's a very nice, very high quality steering wheel. To the left of me, I have my dimmer switches, trunk release, and my traction control button. And on the door, I have my power windows, power locks, and power mirrors. In the center, I do get a very nice display. Now, in the Foresters and the Crosstreks and the Outbacks, this is just a display for your time, outside temperature, things like that. But no. Here in the STI, I actually have a functioning boost gauge. And what I mean by functioning is the fact that it actually shows positive and negative pressure. It shows vacuum and boost. I love that. The Focus ST only shows you boost, which is cool for mouth breathers, but I actually want to know what the engine and turbo's doing. And it's doing a lot. I can also look at my percentage of acceleration, which is interesting. My peak PSI, things like that. I love it. I think it's a really well-placed, well-designed gauge, and it tells me everything I'd want to know. Down below that, I do have my touchscreen radio infotainment system. I do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Very nice spec here. I say this in all my Subaru, or at least modern Subaru reviews. I think the screen is really, really well designed. It's very high resolution, and I think overall it's just very, very good. Down below that, we do have my climate controls. Nothing really too crazy here, pretty basic, nothing really out of the ordinary. Then I have a big cubbyhole with my 12-volt outlet, and I have a beautiful, beautiful STI badge down on the center console. And then we get to the shifter. I like the shifter. It does look a little bit dated. Now, you could look at this two ways and say, oh, hey, Subaru's been using the same kind of shifter for the last 20 years. Or the way I prefer to look at it is, it just reminds me of the older STIs, the older Subarus, you know, the Hawkeyes, the bug eyes. Sort of, I'll look at it as a throwback shift knob. We'll leave it at that. Then down below that, I do have a couple very, very interesting settings. So I do have my drive modes where I have normal and SI drive. So this will actually allow me to sort of put it into Sport and Sport Plus, essentially. They call it SI drive, but I can really choose how responsive I want my STI to be. And I absolutely love that. I can also change my settings on the center diff. So for you all-wheel drive fanatics, I do have center diff controls, which is just, it's so cool. I've never driven a car where I can control the center diff from a little switch in the center console. I really, really like that. Down below the SI drive options, I do have 2 cup holders and my heated seat options. Now the seats are nice and comfortable. Like I said, they are Recaro. They have decently high bolsters. However, they're not the highest quality thing in the world. They do have STI embossed on the headrest, which is a nice touch, but I'm not over the moon for them. However, I do have to give them credit because I'm a big guy and I actually fit in them. I cannot say that about the Focus RS. But speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's do a back seat review. All right, so I'm in the back of the 2020 Subaru WRX STI Series.White. The back is actually great, and that couldn't be said about older Subarus. Even, you know, a 2009 WRX had a very, very cramped back seat. This is a lot longer of a chassis, not a lot longer of a chassis, but the chassis feels longer, and so I'm actually not squished back here for once in my Subaru life. I do have power windows, of course. I do have some nice Alcantara sort of suede looking stuff on the doors. Center console, I do have 2 cup holders. That's about it. I mean, you don't really get many amenities back here, but you can very comfortably carry 4 people in the STI without an issue. There is a 5th seat belt, but as we know with sedans and stuff, putting someone in the 5th seat is never great, but you can do it. So you can put 5 people in the STI and get to where you're going, whether that's a rally stage or the vape shop. Now we gotta talk about the looks. Obviously, this car is helped out by the Series.White package. That white non-pearlescent paint, again, that's part of the package. The wheels, the silver Brembos. Overall, I think this car looks great. I just never realized how flippin' large the rear wing is. It's almost up above the roof from my rear view mirror. Looking in the rear view mirror, it looks almost parallel with the roof, which is a lot. I mean, that's a lot. Overall, I really, really love the WRX STI. Here's the thing. My favorite part about the WRX STI is that it's so good out of the package. And I think that's why these cars sort of get that Subaru bro mentality. That's why they get that, oh, Subaru, you know, because without modification, this car is amazing. It's so good. It's balanced. It's fun to drive. It has great amenities. I love that screen with the boost gauge. I love the Apple CarPlay. I love the gauges. It's very well spec'd out. It's so good right out of the box. And honestly, that's what I want out of a car. I love modifying cars. I've owned 4 Mazdas in which I've modified them all. But there's something to be said about not having to touch it to have it be so good. Buying one of these cars off the showroom floor will give you so much joy. You don't ever need to touch it ever again. You don't. It's just so fun. And so this is my first STI, both personally and on my YouTube channel. And I have to say, I understand the hype. This thing is fun. This thing is so good. And yeah, people say, oh, they've gotten so much bigger over the years, but that's just to protect you. It's because of safety regulations. You think Subaru wants to make big cars? They love their little Imprezas. But this car is safe. This car is fast. This car is fun. And this particular one is so, so special. Only 500 of these came to the States in this exact spec. There's only 499 Subaru WRX STI Series.Whites that I haven't driven. Oh my God. It's good out of the box. It's very good out of the box. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Frank for letting me drive his 2020 Subaru WRX STI Series.White. This thing is, I mean, it's really, really good. It's a solid runner right out of the package. I know I keep saying it, but it's really true. I really, really love this car. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.